Hello everyone, please welcome. We are starting by 6:00 p.m. Okay, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear
I think we can start now. So before we start, please, I want to make it clear. It's 5 minutes, please. And immediately it's 5 minutes, it will end. Like I will mute the mic. You won't be able to present again. And also before we present, and all groups, it won't be like based on, I don't know, it won't be based on like the arrangement. To be based on those that are available, because we don't want to be waiting for some people that might not be ready or are not still serious about it. So, and I want, like, if you are ready as a group now, you can send your group name and the person presenting to the chat box. Just send your group name and the person in charge to the chat box. Because that's the order will be taken for the presentation. So please send your group name and the person presenting to the chat box. So I'm seeing 2 groups currently. Okay. Now, concerning the presentation, note that our attendance for this presentation is only sign in, because some people were telling me that either I sign in or sign out. There's no sign in, it's only signing. And signing in is not that you, I don't know, you won't, all of you are not signing in at the same time. If your group is not presenting, you are not filling that Google form. Let me put it that way. Because if you feel it, it's just like you're just wasting your time. It won't be recorded. That attendance will be recorded. So if your group is presenting at that moment, so you use the link to sign in. You can't sign in after then or before then. You have to sign in immediately when your group is presenting. If your group is presenting, like when your group leader has started sharing their screen, then maybe start the presentation. Then you can use the link to sign in. That's the only moment you are allowed to sign in. After that, you are no longer allowed to sign in again. If you get my point. The presentation is already like on YouTube, so we already know how the arrangement is. If you do anyhow, we'll see the real exact way that it's supposed to be. So please and please, I'm begging all of you. I will be sharing the link in the sharing the link that you use to sign in. Please ensure that you sign in when your group leader is presenting, the person presenting for your group. That's the only time you're expected to do it. Then also, please go straight to the point. Don't be telling us stories. You can say stories and still explain and still use that 5 minutes, I know, but please don't waste your time. Just go straight to the point. Go straight to the point and make it very interesting. So I think that's all from my own end. RK will add up every other thing. So Rekia, you can go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good evening, everybody. I think Joshua has said everything that needs to be said. Just go straight to the point. You have only 5 minutes for your presentation. At the dot of 5 minutes, we're going to stop you, and that's the end, and you'll be scored. The presentation is going to be scored over 5. The first group on our list is COP01. Akosile, please, you can share your screens. You'll be made the co-host, so share your screen and go ahead.
Please raise up your hand so that we can see you to be made the co-host.
Hello, good evening. I'm here. I've not been made the co-host yet.
Okay, I've made you the host. Can you make me a co-host, please?
Hello, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Umhani Akoshili, presenting the policy documents on child abuse and harassment for SCOP01. So, child abuse is the physical, sexual, and psychological maltreatment or neglect of a child, especially by a parent or caregiver. It may include an act or failure to act by a person that may result in the harming of a child. So different forms of child abuse may include child labor, physical abuse, neglect, child abuse, sexual abuse, psychological abuse, and child trafficking. In Nigeria, about 6 out of 10 children, that's 60% of children, experience some sort of violence, and one in every 4 boys and 10% of girls have been victims of sexual violence. The first right of a child when they are born is to be registered under the law, but only 30% of newborns are actually registered, and 35% of children in West Africa and Central Africa are estimated to be engaged in child labor. In Nigeria, the United Nations estimates that 50 million children workers are under 14 years of age. The scope of the problem. Nigeria is plagued by an overall poor public knowledge of the dangers of child abuse to the society, and there's a glaring abundance of neglect of the Nigerian child by the citizens of the country. A survey carried out by the National Population Commission revealed that child labor is prevalent in Nigeria. The survey shows that Nigerian children undergo different types of abuse in their locality. 35% of children undergo physical abuse, 28% undergo sexual abuse, and 21% undergo abandonment, amongst other types. Among those who witnessed child abuse in their communities, 34% of them did not report the incidence of child abuse simply because they didn't know how to report the incidents. 24% of them said it was none of their business, and 9% were scared of getting implicated. The survey further revealed that a low reporting rate of abused children as only 27% out of 50% who experienced child abuse reported the abuse. There are also very few organizations in Nigeria actively working to support the victims of child abuse, and those are largely based in the cities, leaving victims in rural areas to fend for themselves. Impairing the future of children by abusing their freedom and rights is equal to impairing their development, our national development, and our tomorrow society. That's why stakeholders need to take immediate and effective action to end child abuse in our dear country. Child abuse can cause excessive activation of stress in the body and brain of children. This is known as toxic stress. Child abuse has lifelong damaging effects on learning, behavior, and health. It has an effect on the development of children who are the future of our nation. Child abuse brings about academic achievements, low self-esteem, and lifelong mental health problems. It also includes abuse. The government should improve the quality and available support for victims and survivors of child abuse. The government should build the capacity of law enforcement agencies at different levels to overcome barriers to child sexual abuse and trafficking eradication. The government should also ensure that there are laws put in place to tackle child abuse. Non-governmental organizations can provide and support the victims of child abuse. They can hold seminars, workshops, and training programs to educate people on child abuse and how we can try our best to eliminate it in our society. They can raise awareness to parents about the degrading effects of hazardous work on children's health and potential. Community members can try to stop homes and community reports for victims and avoid stigmatization of victims. They can also report any suspected cases of child abuse to appropriate law enforcement agencies. Medical students and medical students association. As the largest stakeholders involved, medical students can make tremendous efforts within and not restricted to their communities and communities around them to support victims, to increase sensitization of citizens to the harmful effects of child abuse. Lastly, medical students can partner with schools and institutions caring for children to teach children basic rights and how to report abuse if they ever come across it. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Thank you for the presentation. I'm going to take comments from Amina and Joshua now.
Okay, thank you for the presentation. For me, the only comment that I have, it was quite good, like it was very good. But the only issue I had was it was like there was so much content on one particular slide, and it was like you were just reading it. If you can have it like on bullet points to be more better. But overall, it's very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay. It was a great presentation. I'm going to have to agree with Joshua. I believe that some of the slides were too packed, so it felt like you were reading, and I was struggling to also read and follow. So I did not have like enough time to fully take it in. But apart from that, it was a great presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Joshua and Amina.
Okay, we can't hear you. I don't know if I'm the only one. Before she comes back, some people are asking for the order of presentation. The order we just got now is based on those that came in early. So that's what we
Sorry.
are currently using. So
Hi.
those that
We've been
hello?
trying to actually join for, sorry to cut you off actually. We've been trying to join for a while and it kept saying that the host has not started the meeting. So it was when the stuff finally decided to like boot up and show connecting, that's when we joined. So I don't know what the issue actually is.
There was not actually an issue. I started the meeting immediately. That's by 5:50. That was when it was
So it
10
was
minutes
set
before time.
5:30 that 5:30 that we should join by 5:30. So we've been waiting actually, myself and my group members have been waiting since 5:30 to actually join the meeting. And
Sorry about
I
that,
don't know, it
but
just like finally.
sorry about that, but we can't actually start the meeting 30 minutes before time. It's usually 10 minutes before time we start. So that was what we used this time.
So does it mean we're going to present after all these people, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So I don't think RK is still, I think she's having network issues. So I think we'll just move to the next group.
I
Okay,
just
she
got
has
back
joined back.
now. Sorry.
Okay.
I had network issues. From the last point I spoke, please keep sending your group numbers and names, so I'll add them to the list. Thank you. Okay, so for SCOPI 7, the person that is supposed to present, just indicate by raising your hand.
Okay, good evening. Sorry, I'm having issues. I'm supposed to present, but I'm having issues actually sharing my screen. So my teammate will help me share his screen and then I'll take over with the presentation.
Okay, noted.
Please just click share on your Zoom, like your Zoom application. Scroll down, you see screen. Just click on it directly.
Okay. All right, good evening, everyone. My name is, sorry, I hope I can start. Hello?
Yes.
Carry on.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Great Holman. I'll be presenting, taking the presentation for the policy proposal titled Post-Pandemic Recovery of Medical Education. Okay, next slide, please. Next slide. Okay. The COVID-19 pandemic came along with its woes and challenges, permeating every sector, including commerce, health, and the rest of it, and transportation, etc., causing disruptions, challenging traditionally established modalities prevalent in these sectors and threatening their very existence. Now, the educational sector was not actually left out, and the COVID-19 pandemic posed a significant threat to medical education. And in a bid to recover medical education, they need to review the current method of medical education and develop as well as apply new approaches that will enable quality medical education to continue unperturbed by the effect of future pandemics is of utmost importance. Next slide, please. Now, why would stakeholders want to actually get involved in trying to recover medical education after or post-COVID, after the wave of the COVID pandemic? Now, the reasons are listed here. Quality medical education is fundamental in training and developing a proficient workforce of healthcare professionals within a country. And now individuals like you and I can only dare to dream of experiencing the provision of effective healthcare if we have competent professional healthcare workers in the health sector. Also, quality medical education is fundamental in creating a strong, reliable, and robust healthcare system. Also, research which is a component of quality medical education over the years, is one potent tool man has used to actually mitigate the spread of disease, understand how diseases is spread and control, and how diseases is spread, and also getting to control the spread of diseases. Now, you can see that quality medical education is by all means of utmost importance, and without it, there is no way we as humans will be able to actually prepare against future pandemics. Because from research, we're able to actually garner scientific foresight that enable us to prepare against further pandemics. Okay, please, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, now here are some of the possible approaches stakeholders could actually take in the recovery of medical education. One would be the allocation of adequate resources and funds to medical education. The review of medical education curriculum will be of great help. Providing adequate quality infrastructure and facilities that enable learning will also go a long way. Adopting and implementing relevant changes in pedagogy, example, hybrid learning, is also another very beautiful possible approach stakeholders could actually take. Providing safety guidelines to ensure a safe learning environment, support for mental health of students, long-term planning, social accountability for stronger pandemic preparedness. All of these listed above are not just entirely conclusive, but it's more like a condensed list of the possible approaches stakeholders could actually take in the recovery of medical education. Thank you very much for your time. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, good evening once again. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. I'm going to take comments from Amina and Joshua.
Okay, thank you very much. Please, those just joining in, you might be in conference or anything. Please mute your mics. Please mute your mics. Don't affect the presentation, please. Then, concerning the presentation, was very nice. It was very nice. You had bullet points and you use your time well, and it was straight to the point. So that's just all from my own end. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Amina, do you have any comments?
It was an amazing presentation. I liked the bullet points. It was straight to the point, and it got your message across effectively. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. SCOPI 01, you're up next. Please indicate by raising your hand so we'll make you a co-host. Then share your screen and start.
Please,
Ike, are you the one supposed to present?
Please, if you are next to present, also get ready. If you know you are the next group to present, also get ready so that it won't be.
I'm ready. I'm already sharing my screen. Thank you. I hope everyone can see my screen.
We can't see your screen. We can't see your screen.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
We still can't see your screen. Are you using your laptop? Click share on your Zoom browser and scroll down, you'll see screen.
Okay, I've tapped on.
I'll notice, please. How many? How many powers? On our power.
Going to 4 to 5.
Can you see my screen?
We can't see your screen. If you having issues, then we can just move to the next group.
Okay, I think we're going to move on to the next group to avoid wasting time. We'll come back to you guys after the next group if you're ready. So SCOPI 10, Unika Esther, please indicate. Esther, you can share your screen.
Please, Esther, if you are not ready, we'll just move to the next person. We can see your screen, don't worry. Just go ahead. Just unmute. Please, you have not unmuted yourself. We can't hear you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Onyeka Esther, representing SCOPI Group 10, and I'm presenting on the policy document we wrote on access to safe water, sanitation, and hygiene. And for introduction, I'll be defining a subject matter in 3 parts, namely access to safe water, access to safe sanitation, and access to safe hygiene. Okay, for safe water, access to safe water implies every Nigerian being is safe, close to home, and is unlimited, and is safe from contamination. Safe sanitation implies facilities that are able to separate human waste from human contact, and these facilities are able to dispose human waste effectively without contaminating the environment. Safe hygiene has
Please,
to do with
sorry, your slide is not clear. Like, it's not
my
completely clear. It's just showing half. Your slide is only showing half, like it's zoomed in so much. I don't know.
I cannot even fix it. I'm trying to fix it. It's not fixing. So I don't know. Let me just. The phone is acting up. Please, can I fix and come back?
Okay, I think we can just move on before she fixes the issue.
Okay, please, can you allow my group member to help me share the screen, please?
Rakia, please, can you hear you? Is it Osinachi David that is your group member? I don't know. He can share his screen, please. Please, we don't have so much time to waste, please.
One. Osinachi, share your screen.
Please, you have 1 minute to share your screen, or we'll just move to the next group. I think we'll just move to the next group. So I don't know who is the next. The next group is SCOPI 10, Oyeka Esther. I don't know. Oh, you are actually the SCOPI 10. Please, can anyone hear me? I don't know. The place is just so silent.
Yes,
Please, can you hear
I
me?
can hear you. I don't know
Yeah,
if
loud and
Can
clear.
hear you.
I can try sharing mine.
Okay.
Group 01. I don't know if I can try sharing mine.
I'm coming. The next group supposed to be SCOPI 10, Oyeka Esther, and she was the person that had an issue. So, and Onwa Ikechukwu, I don't know.
Yes. I want to try again because I was having issues sharing my screen. So I was having issues sharing my.
I've made you the
Thank you.
co-host now. You can share your screen.
Okay.
Please, we can't see your screen.
I'm really having issues sharing my screen. I don't know if any of my group members is there. They can signify so that they'll be made a co-host.
I think we'll just move to the next group is SCOP 08, Mustafa Mubarak. Please, are you ready so that we can just continue? When they are ready, then we can continue with them.
I feel a couple ground there. Do you have it again?
Mustafa Mubarak, please, are you here? I can't hear you. Wow.
Okay.
I cannot see your screen.
Yeah.
It's not showing. Yeah, it's clear now.
Okay. Okay. Okay, my name is Emmanuel, and I'm representing group number 1, and I'll be presenting One Health, policy and advocacy on One Health. Okay, so understanding the problem on One Health. First of all, we introduce One Health, and we understand that One Health it is an interrelationship among humans, animals, plants, and the environment, and how the environment affects the corporate system. For instance, man's activities in burning fossil fuels that create atmospheric pollution to the ecosystem, and the relationship between man and animal might, create an avenue for genetic infection. These things they cut across board, like the broad view of the one health concept. You see that it cuts across the human health, the animal health, the environment. They are just to be maintained at an optimal, standard that none of the health of a particular group will, cause debilitating effect or noxious effect to other. Like take for instance, uh, we are looking at the animal health. We see that in the intensive livestock that's like pets and breeding farm animals, the way they relate in their environment, whatever they feed, the illnesses or sicknesses that they get can be transferred to man. So, and we see that the major goal of One Health is to have an eco-friendly environment with the joint effort of an interdisciplinary committee. And we see that this interdisciplinary committee is composed of a health and security and intelligence and intelligence professionals. These professionals they work together to make sure that um, the health of the ecosystem, which includes man, the animals, and the environment, are maintained at a very standard that none will fall short of their health standards, like the man, burning wells and it is affecting the environment, the waste of man, and all that. So by one head, this is okay. Like I explained, it is a transdisciplinary approach that opposes an optimal standard in improving healthy relationships in the ecosystem without posing health risks or threats to any group found in the ecosystem. Okay, so we move ahead to the justification. Why or why do we call to order? Who are we calling to order? Who are we? What actions do we want them to, you know, play? Which role do we want them to play to curb the menace on, One Health? Since One Health is a connection. Okay, so we recommend We recommend that the following stakeholders be called to order, like the government and health ministry. The government and health ministry, we expect them to enact safety rules of engagement with animals and their food sources, which could be a channel to the spread of disease through the NCDC, that is the Nigeria Center for Disease Control. You see that um, hello, okay. We see that the government, when the government puts some rules like how we operate in our environment, keeping our environment new, how we handle food, animal stuff from animal sources. You see that these animals will not be able to contact various maybe microorganisms that may cause harm to their health, thereby transferring these health ailments that they may get to human. Okay, then we are calling on the food companies, food companies that
Am I the only one that's
obtaining
not here?
uh, the food companies, government agencies like NAFDAC and the NDLEA should be mandated to checkmate the processing and manufacturing of food. When NAFDAC, this agency, Nigerian Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control, when they are mandated to work on raw materials where, especially food products, where companies get their food products, they make all these things. We see that they will not be able, where companies will not be able to impose health risks people, even to animals, because it is these same companies that produce food and their products to animals. Okay. Now, we are also calling on the medical schools to promote research on one's health and the inclusion in their curriculum for wider exposure amongst the student community for further enlightenment. By further enlightenment, we mean we can create an interconnection between medical groups and other health professionals. This is a combined effort between the health, between the security, between the intelligence. When these people are coming together, they are ensuring a standard health, healthy environment and a healthy ecosystem. You see that they are placing laws. You see that they are making sure that that the ecosystem is viable for the healthy of both animals, both humans, and the environment. None of them are imposing any risk. Like animals are not going to go into extinction because of the actions of man, and there will be no environmental pollution due to waste products of man. Now we go over to farm animal and pet owner. The establishments establishments that deal with farm animals. We are calling on them also to involve the veterinary professional for appropriate management of animals to prevent the transfer of zoonotic infections and also create a sustainable, safe, and affordable food production system. You see that animals they are very, very important. Uh, they are very, very important. They could be a means of transfer of antimicrobial infections. When they get microbial infections, they are transferred to man, and they are also causing a noxious effect in the environment. So, in essence, what we are saying
Okay, sorry, and your time is actually up now.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. I will take comments from Victor, Amina, and Joshua if they have any comments quickly before we move on.
I'm sorry if this is a disruption, but I thought, sorry, can I go on?
Yes, please.
I thought that since this is a presentation, every member of the group should be allowed to speak on the group's topic instead of the leader or just one person going on and on and on about the topic alone. Seems boring.
I would like to say something here. It's not actually boring. One person presenting, it's not actually boring. Maybe you have not heard from other groups. Maybe that was the reason. But that's not the case.
Yeah, and then we sent a guideline that a maximum of 2 people chosen will present. So, because of time, we can't allow everybody to even talk. Comments from Victor, Joshua, and Amina, please.
Okay. Hello. Good.
Okay, I think Victor is having network issues. Amina, Joshua, do you have any comments?
I don't have
Um,
much comment. I don't have
Good evening,
any
everyone.
comments, please.
Presentations thus far.
Okay, Victor is
Listening
back.
to one now, and I think. All right. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, go on.
All right. Thank you very much. So I listened. I listened. I think his name is Emmanuel. The scope 01. First of all, let me try to address the question that the lady raised. We did not decide. We did not ask the group leaders to present. The decision was supposed to be made by the group. So whoever they decided to present for them to make the presentation should be who should make the presentation. So it wasn't our decision. Then concerning the presentation, um, he didn't manage his time. This is a elevation pitch, and I believe there are certain things that should be very much important. You should state your problem very clearly. Let's see how much of a problem it is. Then you move further to telling me why I'm involved, straight to the point. Then you tell me how I can involve. How I can get involved in implementing your policy. There's no point beating around the bush and reading your slides to us, please. I believe if everybody, I'm just saying this because I may not stay all through the session and for other presenters. It's very important you let us know the problem, spell out the problem clearly, and then you move on to telling me why. Let's know your stakeholders, why I should get involved as a stakeholder. You don't have all the time. There's a lot of poor management of time here, and I believe it should be worked upon by subsequent presenters. And then if your slides have pictures, you have pictures, illustrations, that would help present or sell out your points even better than your whole talk. We are seeing what you're presenting, we'll get the whole point, Anyway, this is already the last session for the day. If you had listened to subsequent comments that have been made, I believe in the previous sessions, especially the one we held in the afternoon, you'd have made adjustments and all of that. Either way, well done, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Victor. Great presentation to the group. So we're going to move on to Esther. Are you ready now?
David, to be able to share.
I can't hear you.
He said, yes, I am ready. It's just that I can't share the screen.
Is there anyone from your group that can help you? Okay, please indicate. So, okay, yeah. You can share your screen now, David.
Please don't forget to sign in when your group starts presenting.
Osinachi David, can you unmute your mic and tell us what's up? We can't see your screen. Okay, we can see your screen.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, go on.
Hello. I'm Onyeka Esther, representing SCOPI Group 10, and I'm presenting on the policy document we wrote on access to safe water, sanitation, and hygiene. And for introduction, I'd like to start by dividing the subject matter into three and defining it. So a subject matter divided into three: safe water, safe sanitation, and safe hygiene. But safe water implies every Nigerian having access to safe drinking water as well as quality water from unlimited sources that are free from contamination and are close to their homes. For safe sanitation implies every separate human waste, and this facility should be able to properly dispose human waste. And also safe hygiene implies every Nigerian having access to practices that can be able to keep oneself and its environment clean and also prevent other diseases. Nigeria, as we know, faces many challenges and pushing 91 million of its citizens into living under the poverty line. And in this poverty line, they are unable to feed themselves, not to talk about having access to proper health care. And because of all these issues and problems they have, the least thing they should have is to have safe water, safe hygiene and sanitation, and so that they can be able to prevent them from having to go to access already poor healthcare systems we have in Nigeria. Even as I divided the survey matter into three, they are interwoven with each other. That means we can't have access to safe hygiene without access to safe water. And also from statistics, we know that in Nigeria, half of the population are without access to safe water, hygiene and sanitation. So therefore, pushing many Nigerians into taking up other means of getting water, like using stream water or contaminated dams and the rest. And because of lack of sanitation, they have taken up open open defecation. And because of lack of hygiene, because of lack of knowledge on hygiene, they are living without knowledge and living in ignorance, and therefore exposing themselves to several sicknesses. While we call on the stakeholders to get involved or intervene in these policies, because this lack of water, sanitation, and hygiene has cost a lot in our economy, costing 1.3% of our GDP daily. That is equivalent to 1.9 trillion yearly in Nigeria. And this has also led to loss of productivity, such as wastage of time, because you have to access water that are already far from homes. This has led to death of many individuals due to preventable diseases such as cholera and typhoid. And also, it has also led to avoidable expenses of the government to be able to start treating these diseases. So because of all this, we are losing productivity. And why we call on our stakeholders to intervene, because with their efforts, with their efforts, we can be able to improve the health of Nigerians without making them open going to have to look for access to healthcare. Also, why I will want the stakeholders to intervene, because it will generate a lot of economic benefits as rural area. When all these costs are reduced, we save money and address other important pressing needs we have in this country, such as um, intervention by our stakeholders can also improve the health of both children and adults, increasing the life expectancy of adults and also reducing the death rate in children. This also have a positive impact on our girls and women who are exposed to lack of when they're exposed to lack of water, they're unable to take care of themselves during their menstrual cycles, and because they also take up the burden of going to look for water in their for their family, for house chores and the rest. So when they have access to this water, hygiene and sanitation, they are free to be able to be more productive in whatever we're doing. So therefore, we call on federal government, policymakers and executive bodies to enact laws that will make sure that house owners provide the necessary sanitation and water needed. And also we call on the government to invest both in human resources and financially to be able to provide access to this safe water, hygiene and for sanitation and hygiene that is provided in Nigeria. We call on medical students, I call on medical students to take up physical and both physical and online um, campaigns that be able to advocate to the government, telling them they need to be able to put in effort to provide sanitation, safe sanitation, water, and hygiene. I also call on medical students to be able to um, join hands or partner with external partners to be able to get such as closed toilets, flush toilets, to be able to rural areas and less privileged areas I call on medical students about the need to take up good health or good hygienic practices. I also call on all owners of owners of schools, workplaces, and worship places to provide safe water, safe hygiene and sanitation for the people in their environment, to be able to reduce the burden on the government. With this, I say thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. I'll take comments from Victor and Amina.
It was a really good presentation. Um, I liked that it was kind of straight to the point, though there were some places that it was a bit packed, and then the message was sent across. It was a good presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Once again, good evening. Yes, it was a good presentation. It's just I advise that you secure a solemn environment for your presentation, please. We I did not like the background noise that interrupted and is still interrupting the your presentation. It was not so good. So please, subsequently, other presenters should get a very quiet environment for your presentation. Thank you. But other than that, it was a good presentation. Your problem was well spelled, in as much as and also your call to action. Your stakeholders, it was all clear. Yes. Then how you also want your stakeholders to engage. I think that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Great work. SCOPI 05, you're next. We'll come back to this COCB group later. Ayotunde, Ayotunde, I just made you a co-host, so share your screen and begin, please.
Okay. I'm trying to share my screen. Can anybody see my screen? Sorry.
Not yet.
Okay. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen. Members of her group, immediately she begins presentation, please sign into the attendance form. You can start now. Your time is 5 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ayotunde. I'm presenting on behalf of SCOPI 05. Our topic is ethics and the Nigerian healthcare system. Ethics refers to the clearly defined standards of right and wrong that prescribe what humans ought to do, usually in terms of rights, obligations, benefits to society, fairness, or specific virtues. In healthcare, it encompasses respect for autonomy, which is patients' freedom to make decisions about their health, justice, practice of healthcare decisions that ensure free distribution of resources and treatment, beneficence, acting in the best interest of the patient, non-maleficence, refraining from harming the patient. These are the problems affecting healthcare and the Nigerian healthcare, affecting ethics and the Nigerian healthcare system. One, lack of enforcement of policy laws. In most hospitals in Nigeria, particularly in rural areas, a nurse will perform the duties of a medical doctor while also performing the duties of a pharmacist. These acts of a healthcare professional performing the duties of another healthcare professional violates the ethical principles of healthcare ethics. Those who violate this code of ethics are usually not punished. Two, shortage of staff. In most Nigerian public hospitals, one doctor may see up to 200 patients. According to Dr. Omede Idris, former president of the Nigerian Medical Association, there are 39 medical doctors serving over 140 million Nigerians, compared to the World Health Organization's ratio of one doctor for every 600 people. Despite a recent influx of younger people into the healthcare profession, the majority still prefer to work outside the country due to better working conditions. This brain drain of healthcare professionals poses a serious threat to the ethical practice of healthcare providers in Nigeria. These are the problems affecting solutions. What are the solutions to these problems? The government should promote and empower healthcare professionals in furthering healthcare ethics by providing the necessary resources. The government should also develop efficient measures to assess adherence to ethical guidelines across both the healthcare system and scientific studies, and trying to enforce those guidelines if they are broken. Non-governmental organizations should continually amplify the voices of patients in advocating for ethics in healthcare. They should also conduct awareness campaigns to enlighten the public on their legal obligations and responsibilities in healthcare. These are the expected outcomes if the following solutions are implemented. One, it sets the right culture. The most important benefit of a code of ethics is that it can foster an environment of trust, ethical behavior, integrity, and intelligence. Two, builds a good reputation. It gives the country and its healthcare system a positive image at the international scene. Three, effective healthcare delivery. It puts into consideration the various people groups and cultures. It also ensures proper patient management. Finally, reduction number of patient mortality. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. I'll take comments from Amina and Victor.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go on.
Okay. That was a very, very brilliant presentation. From the problem, the peak of it from the outcome. That was new and that was catchy. It's good that beyond stating the problem and solution, you give us a picture of if these things are implemented, this is how this thing will become. Very beautiful. Well done.
Okay, Amna, do you have any comments before Victor comes back? I think it's network.
It was a great presentation. Okay.
All right, sorry, I think I had a little hitch in my network. It was a brilliant presentation there. I liked the whole from problem to solution, and I think can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so the peak of it all for me was the expected outcome, and that beyond stating the problem, give us a glimpse implemented. So that was really beautiful. That was really beautiful. Well done.
Okay, thank you very much. The next group, please kindly indicate SCOMI 01.
Yes, good day.
Okay, I've made you the co-host. You can.
Okay, no, don't let me. I'm using my laptop, so let me use that one to indicate, so you know which one it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to finish this.
Can you hear me now on this one? This is the one. Yes, this is the one I'm using.
Okay. This one, right?
Okay. All right. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Orji Isaac from SCOMI 01. I'll be presenting for my group on the accreditation of medical schools in Nigeria. So, first of all, we ask ourselves, what is accreditation? So the International Association of Medical Regulatory Authorities defines accreditation as a process by which a credible independent body evaluates the quality of medical education, a medical education program, to ensure that graduates are competent to practice safely and effectively under supervision as interns and have received an appropriate foundation for lifelong learning and further training in any branch of medicine. Now, why is this important? I think that is probably self-evident from the explanation, but let me mention this. High quality healthcare helps prevent diseases and improves the quality of life. It promotes extension of life and reduces disability. So that means that you need high quality healthcare to make sure that you improve life and you reduce disability. And to have high quality healthcare, you need better doctors. And to have better doctors, you need an accreditation process that ensures that you have good doctors. So that is why it's important. So now, what is the problem? Why are we discussing about accreditation? As of March 2022, there were 37 fully accredited medical schools and 8 partially accredited medical schools. Although it's a good thing, we've come so far, but it's still a less than adequate number, considering that considering the 4 to 10,000 doctor to patient ratio as of 2021. Now, this is actually really bad, because that means that for each doctor, you have 2,500 patients. So if, just hypothetically, if every doctor had to treat, every doctor in Nigeria had to treat every person in Nigeria, each doctor would have to treat 2,500 people, which is an insane number. And compared to the standard is actually 1 doctor to 600 patients by WHO. So you can see how that is a problem. Now, also, the number of qualified doctors who can teach medical students continues to drop due to the brain drain. Right? People who are leaving the country to look for better working conditions and whatnot. And this also affects the doctor to patient ratio. There is unavailability of funds for frequent curriculum review. The doctors are not, the Nigerian doctors are not certified by the Educational Commission on Foreign Medical Graduates due to a lack of recognition status of accreditation by the World Federation of Medical Education. So this means that a doctor needs to write extra exams to work in a different country. Like for instance, if you're going to the US or UK, you probably have to write an exam, maybe the PLAB exam, PLAB 1 and 2. So why that is because our own accreditation processes have not been viewed as standard enough, like to be accredited, to be recognized by the Educational Commission on Foreign Medical Graduates. Now, facilities available are also inadequate for medical schools, and clinical practicals are below standard. So why must we take action, right? How do we convince our stakeholders that this is important? So to do that, these are a few points. So to improve the quality of graduates produced from Nigerian medical schools. So obviously we want better healthcare. So that means that we need to get better doctors. So that's one reason why it's important. Also, we need more doctors. That's going back to the point where we talked about the ratio, the doctor to patient ratio of 4 to 10,000. So we need more doctors to make sure that that number drops. To also improve the doctor patient, I apologize for the noise. Seems someone is all right. So to improve the doctor patient confidence and prevent people going abroad for treatment. I think every once in a while we hear about a dignitary who goes abroad to seek for treatment. And the reason why, and I don't blame them, because we don't have either we don't have the personnel or we do not have the equipment to ensure that whatever procedure they want to undertake can be done here. So these are some of the reasons why it happens. I will even give a personal example. The University of Nigeria does not have an MRI machine. The Ituko we do not have one. Which is a very strange thing for such a popular teaching hospital. So to ensure decent learning working conditions for both students and staff, for better graduates, and to also prevent the brain drain. So we need to do that, and also to make sure that the standard of medical schools in Nigeria is on par with the rest of the world. And we also have to improve our reputation internationally. That is very important. If we are to be respected, as we call ourselves the giant of Africa, we have to act as such. So the solution, what are the solutions? How do we solve these problems? Well, for there to be significant and sustainable change in the accreditation process, various stakeholders must take action. So we have the high power, high interest groups, the NUC and the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, and the Ministry of Health. Well, they should ensure that medical institutions keep up with new technology, equipment, and facilities. That the curriculum in medical institutions are constantly adapting to new information. So schools adopt e-learning where applicable, so students can access all the needed academic materials with ease. And they also do periodic self-assessment to ensure effective and efficient accreditation exercises.
Your time is up. Okay, I'm going to thank you for your presentation. Unfortunately, your time is up. I'm going to be taking comments from Daniel, Amina, and Joshua, please. Then we move on.
It was a great presentation. Your points were outlined beautifully and clearly. Just that, unfortunately, your time was not enough. But then, all in all, I got the point you were trying to pass across, and your slides were good.
Okay, thank you, Amina. Daniel.
Okay, anyway, well
Okay.
done. You did a very good job. Your presentation was nice. Although next time, like Amina said, you have to be very cognizant of your time. Your slide was very packed to a lot of writings. So next time, there's a way you could actually streamline it and make it in bullet points or something so that at a glance, someone can catch the information you're trying to, because this is 5 minutes. It's not as if it's 20 minutes presentation you get. And so you have to just focus on particular areas and then streamline as much as possible. Well, anyway, overall, you did very well. Well done.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Joshua, do you have any comments before we move on?
Yeah, they have already said most of the comment. It's quite very good. The only issue, and also that's concerning the time. Another thing is I like the way he made it so practical. Like give examples of his life experiences and all those stuff. He to use his school and every other thing. I think that's a very good point. So thank you very much. It was a nice presentation.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to SCOPI 04. Then after SCOPI 04, the SCOCB guys we skipped earlier will present. So Ezekiel, I already made you a co-host, so go ahead and share your screen.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Please, can anyone see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Olalumade Ezekiel from Scope 04. I'll be representing the group this evening. So, what's the problem? Science is a major part of our lives. Therefore, the public needs to understand science and also collaborate with scientists to improve the health and well-being. Also, there has to be elimination of false results that emanate from scientific research. All these are beneficial to the public. However, barriers such as multilingual research works, good access journals, non-involvement of societal actors, etc., e.g., trade unions, business organizations hinder these benefits. That is, people are not able to understand science and collaborate and unite together to bring about improvement in health of people because of these barriers. The only way to bring above the above benefits and to remove the barrier is by open science. So open science is the only solution to the problems, that is to remove the barriers. Why should our stakeholders intervene? Looking at the picture, open science increases scientific collaborations and sharing of information for the benefit of science and society. That is, it's not only science that have to benefit, no, the society are involved because science is part of our lives. Also, it makes multilingual scientific knowledge openly available, accessible, and reusable for everyone. That is, there are many research works in different languages. Open science seeks to remove this barrier of multilingualism. Also, open science opens the processes of scientific knowledge creation, evaluation, and communication to societal actors beyond the traditional scientific community. That is, it does not only revolve around science. No, it opens to other societal actors like trade unions, business organizations, leading to collaboration between non-scientific community also to bring about improved health of people. Looking at the points here, stakeholders should intervene because open science seeks to improve the quality of healthcare when the public are informed, not just the scientific community, and when they contribute to improve health through technologies, awareness campaign, and by thorough research. Because some research works, due to lack of open science, they are not thorough enough. They lead to false positive results, and that affects the quality of health. Also, it benefits the government. I mean, open science benefits the government because it makes the health of the people the governing priority. The government will not govern people that are sick or that are dead due to false research or unavailability of knowledge in the field. It also seeks to make health professionals and students better equipped with the best knowledge and practices. People are well involved through open science, even the health professionals and students, and it removes bias in research that can negatively affect the health of people. Like I said before, it reduces and eliminates false positive results because open science is, it is open. It does not revolve around the scientific community alone. And that, how can they fix the problem? The government should implement open science policy, as we have seen the benefits. They should include open science in the medical school curriculum. They should increase the awareness of the public on the benefits of open science through media conferences and seminars. Universities, medical schools, and NiMSA should encourage research that align with open science principles, train students to conduct research in line with open science principles, and advocate for open science in the university community. Researchers and ethics committees should also make research processes and outputs as open as possible and as close as necessary. Why not neglecting ethics of research? Even though we want to make people aware and know science, to ensure collaboration, to improve the health of people, we should not neglect ethics. So it should be close as necessary. Non-governmental organizations should advocate for the implementation of open science policy by the government. Open science is beneficial to the public, both scientific and non-scientific, and support and encourage activities that bring awareness on the importance of open science. So, and these are why our stakeholders should intervene, and these are how they can fix the problem. Thank you very much for your attention.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll take comments from Joshua and Amina before we move on.
It was a good presentation. I really like the use of the infographics. They help to make the entire presentation more appealing. I wish you had used more bullet points and then your presentation had less writing, but it was a good presentation in general.
Okay, Joshua, is there any other comments before we go?
I don't have any comments. Thank you.
All right, then. Thank you very much for your presentation. We'll move to score CB08. Please, whoever is presenting should indicate. Please unmute your mic and indicate, or you raise your hand. Okay. I've made you the co-host, so you can go on.
Okay, but Mubarak is the one presenting. I'll just help him share.
Okay, no problem.
Sorry, I'm available. I'm available to. I've dropped a message in the chat box.
Please, we can't see your screen. Let's be fast about this.
Are you having issues with sharing your slide, your
Hello,
screen?
hello, hello.
Yes.
Sorry, can I be made a co-host? I've not been able to share my screen.
Okay, you're the one sharing your screen.
Yes.
Okay.
Hello, sorry, please, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear
And
you.
can you
We
see my
can see
screen
your
too?
screen. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, good evening, everyone. Okay, good evening, everyone. I am Mustafa Mubarak, and I am the team leader of SCOPI 08/06, and we are going to be presenting a policy on post-pandemic recovery of medical education.
Excuse me, are you presenting on behalf of two groups?
No, like we had issues.
Okay.
In the schedule document, it is SCOPI 06 that is there, but my SCOPI coordinator now told me that SCOPI 06, SCOPI 08 is actually meant to be 06, but he said he's going to rectify that. So that's why I just used the two. But then we have been using SCOPI 08 since. We have been using 08 since.
All right.
Sorry, can I go on?
Yes, please.
All right, thank you. Okay, so I'll just start with a brief definition of a pandemic. A pandemic is a worldwide outbreak and spread of disease. And the most recent one is the novel coronavirus, COVID-19 pandemic, caused by severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2. And this pandemic has necessitated the institution of protective and preventive measures because of the adverse effect it had on medical education. So the COVID-19 outbreak was actually declared a global pandemic on the 11th of March, 2020 by the World Health Organization. During the period of the pandemic, the federal government of Nigeria, through the Federal Ministry of Education, closed all tertiary institutions in Nigeria, including medical schools, on the 19th of March 2020, so as to curtail the effects of the pandemic. And the effect of COVID-19 pandemic on tertiary institutions in Nigeria includes the fact that it had led to the disruption of the academic calendar in schools, leading to extension of academic years to be spent in school. And this has gotten an adverse effect on medical students because the number of years to be spent by medical students in school is already a long one and has been increased by the pandemic. So this has caused the need for some changes to be made. the career progression of medical students and those in residency training program were all affected. So now moving on to the need for intervention. The first one is the fact that the state of infrastructure in medical schools is said to be poor. Apart from the fact that the pandemic has had many effects on lengthening the years to be spent in school and the standard of education in school, the infrastructure in Nigerian medical schools normally is a bad one, which has caused an increase in the effects of the pandemic. Then also the smooth financing of medical education in Nigeria could be at risk when much money has been geared to curtailing the effect of the pandemic. There won't be enough finances for education, which would lead to affecting medical education. Then also lack of real patient interactions. An alternative to be used here is a virtual means by health professionals, which had led to lack of real parent interactions. Because once there is direct interaction between a health professional and the patient, there might be an increased risk of spread of the pandemic. So among the effects of the pandemic was the lack of real patient interactions. Then also lack of direct interactions with peers is also related to the previous point. Then also the poor technical skills of educators in medical schools also cause for an alarm. So the effects of the pandemic coupled with the poor technical skills of medical educators, has also led to worsening the state of medical education in Nigeria. Then most importantly, the psychological impact of quarantine and isolation has in a way affected medical education, because when we already know that if we try to do something physical, it could lead to the spread of the virus. And once someone contracts the virus, they would have to be isolated or quarantined in the isolation center. So we won't be made to do the normal thing to be done in the educational system. Then now, virtual learning has provided easy access to learning.
Sorry, your time is up. I'm going to take comments from Amina, Daniel, and Joshua now. Then we'll move on. Thank you for your presentation.
All right, ma'am, you're welcome.
Daniel, do you want to go first?
All right. Well done for the presentation. It's so sad that we keep hitting on the time factor, because I think we have not really gotten to the meat of your presentation. We're approaching the meat of your presentation when the time was up. Your presentation was very interesting. It's a very relatable stuff, and which everybody here has, one way or the other, being a victim of it. So the area, I don't know how your slide is, but tying the stakeholders in which a case scenario in which you are supposed to be presenting this particular slide to, and you're trying to bring them on board, which is very, very important. You didn't get to that slide. But overall, I love your presentation. You were very calm. You delivered very well. You were very fluent, and a little bit of technical issues, but you did very well. Well done.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. Joshua, do you have any comments?
No, I don't have any comment, just based on the time that he spent that had an issue. I think that's all. If not, everything went well.
Okay. Amina, do you have any comments? Okay, while we wait for Amina's comment, I have made the person sharing the screen for the next group a co-host. You can go ahead and share your screen and start your presentation. You have 5 minutes, remember. Please, from the moment I say begin, just keep looking at your time. You have exactly 5 minutes. Okay, you can start now. You're stopping at 7:38. Exactly 7:38. Go on.
Good evening. Am I diligent? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm a member of SCOPI, and will be giving a presentation on topic One Health. One Health is a collaborative, multi-sectoral, and transdisciplinary approach that is aimed at achieving optimal health outcomes, recognizing the interconnection between people, animals, and the shared environment. Human health has always been intertwined with the health of animals and shared environments, and as a result of these interactions between them, there has been an emergence of health issues such as zoonotic diseases like Lassa fever, tuberculosis, and recent COVID-19, antimicrobial resistance, food safety and security, as well as environmental contamination. Zoonosis causes approximately 2.5 billion cases of human illnesses and 2.7 million deaths worldwide per year. And Nigeria is one of the top 4 countries with the highest burden of these diseases. Antimicrobial resistance is one of the top 10 global threats, and the leading cause of death, especially multi-drug resistant tuberculosis, which has a high burden in the country. About 600 million people all over the world fall ill from consumption of contaminated food per year, and most of these burdens on people living in low and middle income countries such as Nigeria. What statistics showed that in Nigeria, lower respiratory tract infection associated with air pollution was the highest ranked cause of death in 2017, and other diseases associated with environmental risk factors resulted in about 800,000 deaths per year in the country. Therefore, with these few issues highlighted, it is crucial that the Nigerian government, the World Health Organization, medical institutions and medical students, as well as food industries and agricultural sector, join forces to tackle the issues through a collaborative One Health approach. Okay, so I'll continue. Okay, so we call on World Health Organization to form alliance with the organizations for animal health and food and agricultural organization to jointly create a concerted approach in implementing the World One Health strategy. Okay, we call on the government to support the strategies directed towards preventing the outbreak of zoonotic diseases, using zoonotic disease surveillance and response team, as well as vaccination, to enforce regulations on environmental pollution levels and subsidize alternative cleaner sources of energy, to provide grants for research aimed at developing new antimicrobials against persistent infections. Medical institutions and universities should promote undergraduate and postgraduate research in One Health, and they should include One Health topics in curriculum like zoonotic diseases, climate change, and vaccination. And they should educate prospective medical professionals on the benefits of disease prevention using One Health approach. Medical students should develop interdisciplinary relationships with other medical students and agricultural science students, and they should create awareness on climate change whilst advocating the importance of One Health. Okay, food industries and farmers should apply measures to control the level of pollution produced by industries and agricultural processes. Pesticides should be cautiously used and regulated, and there should be a limit to the use of antimicrobials for purposes other than treatment of their livestock. Thank you very much for listening.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. That was really timely and straight to the point. I'll take comments from Joshua and Daniel if they have any.
Okay, my only comment, it was very, very good. The only comment I had was you were moving so fast, like so super fast, and people might not be able to catch up. And it looks like towards the end, you were quite reading. I understand you don't have so much time, but just like you were reading from the slides directly, just reading it off. You weren't giving enough explanation. But overall, it was very nice. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Daniel, do you have any comments?
Thank you very much. You have a very nice slide. Good or fair presentation. You were so fast. If I was not looking at your slide, I don't think I will catch anything I literally said, except One Health. So as much as you're trying to beat the time, you ensure that you're able to communicate your idea or communicate the topic in which you're trying to pass across. I know you were trying to be very work with the time, but I think you should have more, maybe at least 2 minutes here from me. And you didn't really communicate much of what you wanted to as regards the topic of our presentation. So in subsequent times, you try as much as possible to match your speed to also communicating your presentation to the audience or the stakeholders. But overall, you did fairly well and well done.
Okay, thank you. Amina, are you back? Do you have any comments?
Um, it was a really good presentation, but I think I have the same thing to say as the others. It was really fast, so it was hard to catch some words, and then before you could read it, she had already moved to the next slide. I did like the infographics used though.
Okay, thank you very much for your comments. Well done to the group. Squarepa 03, Modupe, I've made you a co-host. Please share your screen and begin. You have exactly 5 minutes.
Good evening. Yes, we're going to share our screen right away. There's someone who is supposed to, Emmanuel. Emmanuel is the one that's supposed to share our screen.
Okay, Emmanuel, indicate please.
Yes, he has indicated. Good evening, everyone. My name is Laja Modupe. I'm a member from SCOPI 03, and I'll be presenting our policy document on the topic health, environment, and climate change. In this slide, you'll see 3 things: man, which refers to our health, climate, and environment. According to WHO, health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. That is to say, our health is affected by the climate, which refers to atmospheric conditions, and the environment, which refers to living or non-living things which surround us. What I'm trying to say is that these 3 are interrelated. Here, we see 2 sides of the coin. On one side, there are activities that man does that negatively affect our environment and climate. Environmental pollution, heavy industrialization, and the use of chemicals release greenhouse gases into the environment, which depletes the ozone layer. Improper waste management has been linked to health hazards, and deforestation, which is the cutting down of trees, leads to an imbalance in the ecosystem. On the other side of the coin, environment and climate change affects our health. By the depletion of the ozone layer, it has been linked to research which says that there is an increase in prevalence of skin cancer. The presence of drought and desertification in some areas leads to reduced crop yields, which has been linked to malnutrition and undernutrition. Also, the presence of the increase in sea level also poses a danger of great flooding. Why should our stakeholders intervene? We want them to intervene because we want to promote a safe cycle between our health, our climate, and our environment. I would have you know that Nigeria is a populous country with almost 200 million people. These people are exposed to environmental hazards and climate change, which would therefore cause adverse effects on their health. The people mostly affected are elderly people, people with disabilities, and those with pre-existing medical conditions. When it comes to our health, we have a national budget that is simply too small. In 2019 and 2020, the health budget dropped below 5%, which showed a decline in attention to the healthcare system compared to earlier years. This is a disappointment and a shame, as it clearly falls below the April 2001 Abuja Declaration of allocating a minimum of 15% of national budget to health. Now, how should we solve this problem? I'll pass it on to my colleague, Nimotalahi Bello, to speak on it.
Next slide. Massive strategies and plans must be implemented in Nigeria as a necessary response to the aforementioned issues with health, environment, and climate change,
However, proposal and application of these strategies require combined efforts from the various stakeholders, which include the World Health Organization. The WHO should monitor the progress of the targets of the Sustainable Development Goals on climate change and health in Nigeria. They should promote the incorporation of climate change solutions into Nigeria's health system and actions that improve health in Nigeria. Next slide. The Federal Ministry of Environment and Federal Ministry of Health should increase Nigeria's healthcare system capacity by building more healthcare centers. They should raise awareness for the aforementioned problems. They should improve waste management system by building recycle centers, amongst other solutions. The environmental standard agencies should ensure compliance with national laws on environment management and safety. They should work against the use of equipment or technology that are not eco-friendly, like plastic bottles. Next slide. Medical practitioners in health sector and medical faculties in tertiary institutions actively in climate change programs concerning awareness and action in communities and Nigeria at large. They should see to it that climate change and its effects on Nigeria's environment and healthcare are added to the school's curriculums.
In conclusion, our environment is not safe. Climate change is increasing and our health is greatly affected. We call on all our stakeholders to solve this problem, as together, through action, we can be the solution. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. It was very timely. I'll take comments from Daniel, then Amina and Joshua before we move on.
Wow, that was very, very nice. And I like the innovative idea of switching presenters in between. You started very well. I actually love your presentation very well, actually. You did very, very well. Well done.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Amina, do you have any comments?
Way to go. It was an amazing presentation. I loved the switch in the middle between the presenters. Your slides were beautiful, straight to the point. You made good use of bullet points, and it was very easy to understand.
Okay, thank you, Joshua.
Yeah, it was an excellent presentation. It was very good. And also, I liked the way that they sounded very confident when they were presenting it. That's very good.
Okay, thank you very much. Well done, guys. It was an amazing presentation. We'll move on to the next group. Square part 2. I've made you a co-host, so please share your slides and begin. You have exactly 5 minutes once you start.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm trying to share my slide. Please let me know if you can see my screen. Am I here doing? Please let me know if you can see my screen.
I'm not yet. I think the network is...
Okay, I think it's a network issue.
We can't see your screen. I think it's your network.
Okay, please can I see the screen now?
Yes, we can see your screen.
All right, thank you very much. Please pardon me, I actually set up this before I don't know why my PowerPoint is hanging. Okay, please, can we skip to the next group? I don't know why my PowerPoint is hanging all of a sudden. It was working perfectly just before this. Please, can we go on to the next group? I don't know why my PowerPoint is hanging. I can't see anything. Okay, so please, someone else would share on my behalf.
Okay, who is sharing on your behalf?
She would
Emmanuel?
indicate now. No, Julie.
Okay,
Julie is
Julie,
sharing.
have made her co-host. Emmanuel, do you want to say something?
All right, ma'am, please, do I go on now?
Yes, go on. You have 5
Alright.
minutes. You're stopping at
Thank you.
7:55.
55. All right, thank you very much. So my name is Sawana and I'm going to be presenting from the SCOPI 02 group. And I hope that at the end of our presentation, we'll be able to show you why air pollution is not just a SCOPI 02 group problem, but also a problem of every medical student. So what is air pollution? Air pollution is the introduction of chemical substances, biological or particulate matter, which can cause hurt or distress to humans and other living organisms, or wreak havoc on our natural environment or on our built environment, such as infrastructures. And we're introducing these things into the air. Now, they may come from man-made sources or natural sources. So natural sources include dust from large areas of land with little or no vegetation, such as deserts, smoke, carbon monoxide from wildfires, and volcanic activity, which we know produces a lot of ash particulates into the environment. Man-made sources are related to burning various types of fuels, such as our firewood, charcoal, agricultural activities such as pesticides and fertilizers, smokestacks from industries, and power plants. So next slide, please. So why should air pollution be a problem to us and not just to SCOPI 02? It is considered the biggest environmental risk to health, according to the 2016 WHO report on the burden of disease. And as of 2017, it was the fourth leading risk factor for mortality in Nigeria, responsible for over 7% of fatalities. Now, psychic numbing will make us believe that it is just 7%, but over 114,000 people had lost their lives to air pollution in 2017 alone. Also, the entire Nigerian population lives in areas with outdoor particulate matter that are way above the WHO air quality guideline, and less than 15% of people live in regions where it actually meets these guidelines, and it reduces our average life expectancy. We can see that, okay, our father has air purifier, but this is not good. So what does it do to our health? It can cause a lot of diseases, such as chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases. We're having more people come down with asthma. We're having more people come down with chronic coughs. We're having more people come down with various lower respiratory infections, such as pneumonia, tuberculosis. We're having people coming down with strange problems during pregnancy, such as preterm delivery. We're having people come down with stroke, heart disease, heart attack, and lung cancer. And we all know that lung cancer is the deadliest type of cancer because of because it's not found very early. So what can we say can be a solution to air pollution? What can we do as medical students? What can our parents do? What can our government do? Our governments can improve the electricity supply. They can switch to solar electricity, to solar energy. by buying solar panels so that the rate at which fuel is burned for energy is reduced. We can use alternative means of transportation. We can use water as a means of transport. We can use electric cars. And electric cars now are being produced so that they are cheaper and much more efficient than our fuel-powered cars. They can enforce air pollution laws. So places that have a high generator load, they will not use so much generators. So places that there's so much gas being released into the environment, there are sanctions from their gas release. We can continually educate our people. We can continually tell them that it is bad. The smoke that we are burning is bad. The trash that we are burning on the roadside is bad. The firewood we are using to cook is bad for our health. So we can also lessen the use of firewood and charcoal in homes. We can tell our mother that it is not until we get firewood that we have smoky jollof. We can tell our parents that it is not until we burn the trash that the trash is truly destroyed. In Singapore, they use their trash, they burn it, the heat is used to power the country. We can show them that these are other ways to generate energy. We can emphasize on the use of cleaner energy sources like solar, wind in America. We can also improve the effective refuse collection and disposal. So we can share this out to our students, we can share this out to our parents, to the government, to industries, and let them know that air pollution is a great problem in our society, and we can combat them with these things. And with these few points of mine, I hope I've been able to convince you that air pollution is not just our group's problem, but also your problem. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Thank you very much. I'll take comments from Daniel and Amina.
Well done for the presentation. It's actually very interesting and funny. And it's not funny, it was very lively. I like the way you emphasize the points with very common scenarios around us, which really drives home your point. And then you're able to also keep the time and also deliver an excellent presentation. Well done.
Thank you, Daniel. Amina, do you have any comments?
It was a really good presentation. All I have to say is that at a point it felt more like a debate than a presentation. But that aside, good job.
Okay, thank you very much. Scope 04, please indicate so I can make you a co-host.
Hello, good evening. Can we hear me? Okay.
Yes, we can hear you. Go on.
Okay. So let me share my screen. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Hello, good evening. My name is Ojo Tosin, and I'm representing Scope 4 on internally displaced persons. Internally displaced persons are people that have been forced to relocate from their homes, leaving behind their properties and means of livelihood, but still remaining within the confines of their country. Nigeria is ranked as the country with the third highest amount of internally displaced persons in Africa, with about 27 million people as of 2020. And this is due to the rise in the Boko Haram insurgency. The problems that the internally displaced people face are, one, food security. People in IDP camps suffer severe malnutrition, and this is due to the inaccessibility of children to quality diets and micronutrient supplements. Two, the violation of human rights. This is especially predominant among young girls, as a lot of them are subject to being raped and exploited in return for food. And the living condition of people in the internally displaced people coming in the IDP camps are
very terrible, and they lack the access to basic amenities. 3, gender concerns. When designing mechanisms for distribution of humanitarian aid, people should consider genders. For example, women will need sanitary pads and other menstrual hygiene amenities. And we notice that most of the time, when distributing things to IDP camps, we neglect things like sanitary pads, and this is something that shouldn't be neglected. Number 4, education. Many people in the camp, many children in the camp do not have access to proper education, as there are no schools in the camp, and even the schools that are there, the conditions of the schools are very terrible. Now, NiMSA believes that the government should tackle the root cause of the displacement, one of them majorly being the issue of Boko Haram and other forms of insecurity, so that people can return back to their homes and sources of livelihood. We have put together some solutions to the problems stated previously, and we are calling on the following organizations and bodies to tackle these issues. So one, the General Republic. We call on the General Republic to love and care for the IDPs, as they are also citizens of the country, and to give them gifts and food and shelter if possible. And we call on the government to liaise with NGOs and develop ways to Excuse me, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, go on.
And to seek relevant bodies to establish and implement disaster risk reduction. We also call on humanitarian agencies and NGOs to take into account the protection requirements of the We call on the humanitarian agencies and NGOs to take into account the protection requirements of the people of the displaced people, to focus on their human rights and to make sure that they are not being exploited in the camps. References, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'll take comments from Amina, then Daniel. Daniel, do you have any comments? Amina.
All right. Well done for the presentation. I don't know, but I just feel like probably you weren't very prepared for the presentation, because you're a bit jittering and there was this disconnection in between your presentation. So subsequently, you can actually arrest that by probably doing a model presentation before your group members or even before your mirror, so that probably can help with either your confidence level or your fluency when delivering a presentation. But your presentation was actually very okay. Your slide was, I like your bullet points. You can grasp everything at a glance. So well done.
Thank you very much, Daniel. If you're doing, you can start sharing your screen. Amina, do you have any comments?
Hi, please, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen. Zaid, you can go on. You can start. You stop at... Zaid, are you ready?
No, I'm the one I'm presenting first.
We're ready.
Okay. You stop at 8:06. 8:07.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Standing on existing protocols. My name is Oluwakemi Fedoe. In this presentation, we'll be addressing problems of unethical practices faced in our healthcare system. These problems range from medical negligence that have cost lives to inequality, diminishing the quality of healthcare received by citizens of our nation. Let me start by giving a brief insight into the health ethics in Nigeria. Ethics are values that guide practices in the healthcare sector. And although it has been introduced to us since 2004, there is yet to be proper implementation of the Code of Ethics due to lack of legislation in our country. Take, for example, the case of women, especially married women. being unable to have full autonomy over their health without having to seek the consent of their husbands. In turn, this also affects their child's health. It has been confirmed that women with full autonomy had higher rates of utilization of antenatal care. In fact, a study carried out by ethics communities of the Opinion Research Corporation shows results of mothers' lack of autonomy on child health between the years of 2008 and 2018. It reveals that only 23.8% of children are fully immunized after birth. With this, it is evident that we must educate our women on their rights as parents and adopt policies to protect these rights. To dive even deeper into other cases of ethical problems in healthcare, I'll be handing over to my co-speaker.
Standing on existing protocols. My name is Zaid Shehu. Another example of problems in healthcare that must be addressed is one pertaining to us as medical practitioners, which is medical negligence. It is the carefree attitude of physicians to the plight of their patients. Most times, offending practitioners go scot-free due to reasons ranging from ignorance on the part of patients and lack of policies which address such offenses. According to a survey carried out in the University of Calabar Teaching Hospital, out of 269 patients, 88.5% perceived medical negligence. This has led to underlying consequences that have plagued the health sector over the years. We propose that the healthcare system should strengthen welfare for their health workers, provide standardized outlines for procedures, ensure penalties are meted out on offenders, and enlighten patients on how to address medical negligence. Inequality is another pithole in our healthcare system. Patients' lives are determined by their standards of living, and as a country with more than 40% poverty rate, the feedback of this pithole could include high mortality rates and even poor outcomes of treatment given to these patients. One way to curb these problems is to seek for health finances made by different organizations and advocate for health insurances given to people of all standards of living. With these in place, we can strengthen healthcare infrastructure to provide high quality healthcare in all areas in Nigeria. To wrap this up, I am handing over to my co-speaker.
Thank you. Still standing on existing protocols, to conclude this presentation, we would like to state that the perspectives that have been provided in this document is one that should not be ignored, but rather considered with immediate effect. We urge the policymakers to make the change that is required for the advancement of the healthcare sector in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that presentation. That was really, really nice. I'll take comments from Daniel now.
And first of all, I'm very impressed by this presentation. You did very well. Even when you switched, the tempo was still very almost at the same level. Your slide was very nice. It was I like the pictures in between, but probably next time if you could make the picture could be in between the text and not just one full page, that would be much more better. But also your speed, your confidence level was very, very nice for both the male and the female presenter, and it was actually very okay. Yes, I actually enjoyed the presentation and very timely. So well done to this particular group.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. Amina, do you have any comment? Okay, seems like we'll move on. Scoipa 01, you can share your screen and start.
Good evening, everyone. Can you all
Good
hear me?
evening. We can see your screen. You have 5 minutes. You're stopping at 8:13. You can start.
Okay. My name is Aiba Tareyoso, and I'm here on behalf of Square Power One, and we are presenting on air pollution. Okay, so what is air pollution? Can you all hear me?
Yes, go on.
Okay, according to the World Health Organization, air pollution is the contamination of the indoor-outdoor environment by any chemical, physical, or biological agent that modifies the natural characteristics of the atmosphere. So, yeah, that's what air pollution is. And it is worthy of note that there are so many pollutants that are responsible for air pollution, but we cannot monitor them also. The most important pollutants that World Health Organization takes into cognizance is particulate matter, carbon monoxide, sulfur, and nitrogen oxide. So these are considered criteria pollutants for air pollution. So what are the drivers of air pollution? Like what are the things that and bring these pollutants into the atmosphere and make it unsafe for us? The drivers of air pollution, especially in Nigeria, are mostly man-made, and they are caused by human activities such as open burning of waste, using firewood for fuel. This is more on indoor air pollution. It makes the indoor air unsafe for especially those in the low socioeconomic class. Then vehicular emissions, especially in large cities that are congested, people are exposed to polluted air more on the road than industrial emissions. So now, what are the effects of air pollution? The effects of air pollution range from lung function decrements, cardiac effects, inflammation, and up to deaths. Air pollution, when people are exposed to high amounts of polluted air in a shorter span, it can lead to deaths. And as we all can see, the effects of air pollution are very much, so it is not an issue to be played with. Also, it is worthy of note that air pollution is also a driver of climate change and the myriad of effects associated with climate change, such as increased flooding, acid rain, and the likes. So some benefits of mitigating air pollution include less respiratory and serious diseases. So we have a healthier workforce and better climatic conditions that will drive productivity. So what is the way forward? First of all, to solve any problem, you need to acknowledge the fact that there is a problem. And so I'm calling on all stakeholders to take into cognizance the importance and the effects of air pollution in our society. Now, to tackle air pollution, it has to be in a multidisciplinary approach. So government has a key role to play in tackling air pollution. It needs to enact policies to ensure that air pollution is tackled. Also, the government needs to invest in renewable energy sources and also invest in improved cook stoves to ensure that those in low socioeconomic areas can also improve their indoor air quality because they cannot be left out. And also, we call on NGOs to fund awareness campaigns and also form partnerships with individuals that are passionate about causing a change to this issue of air pollution. Then we need better waste management systems, and the industries to need to offset their emissions. We call on medical students to take charge in awareness campaigns and advocacy for better air quality. And also we call on the general public to ensure that they take care of their vehicles, they service their vehicles that drive air pollution. So in conclusion, air pollution is a life-threatening menace. We have to be proactive and not reactive in this fight. Hence, it is imperative that concerted efforts are made to ensure air pollution is halted or at least mitigated. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. Well done. I'll take comments from Daniel now.
Well done for the presentation.
It's very timely. I love your slides, infographic, and you're straight to the point. That was nice, and you were quite steady with your tempo. So overall, I think you did well.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Moderator, I don't know if you're still there.
I'm sorry. Okay, I was trying to speak. Yes, thank you very much. We'll take the last group for today. SCOP 03. Timothy, you can share your screen and begin.
Oh, okay, please 1 minute. I don't know if Scope owner is here. Anybody from Scope 09? All right, thank you.
Good evening. I don't
Good
know if
evening.
I don't know if I can be
Yes.
heard.
Yes, you can. We can see your screen. You have 5 minutes. You're stopping at 8:20.
All right. My name is Oyenekon Timothy, and I will be representing SCOP 03. And tonight I'll be talking about internally displaced people. Basically, I'm going to start with the definition of internally displaced persons. And it says that internally displaced persons are people or a group of people who have been forced to leave their homes to avoid the effects of armed conflict or natural disasters or man-made disasters who have not been found to cross international borders. So now that we know the definition of internally displaced persons, why is it a problem? Why are we talking about internally displaced persons tonight? And it's because according to a 2019 report, Nigeria being the giant of Africa, ranks number 7th, the countries with the highest number of internally displaced persons, with about 2.2 million people. And then the number steadily keeps increasing. And as of 2020, Nigeria is presently the 3rd country with the highest number of internally displaced persons. And what are some of the health problems that have been faced by by internally displaced persons? We have things like lack of proper waste disposal channels, overcrowding in camps, lack of proper healthcare systems. Overcrowding in camps due to the fact that there is a sudden increase in the number of internally displaced persons. We discovered that the amount of places that are built to accommodate them is actually not enough. There is an overcrowding in camps, and also, some of the problem, we have poor access to health and hygiene information, with most IDPs, internally displaced persons from rural areas, being illiterate or half literate. There is very little or no access to health and to proper health and very good hygiene. And I don't know if you can see this picture. It says that this is a picture of a young boy that is 10 years old, and the name has been changed to protect the identity of the child. It says that I have been displaced from my home and separated from my parents due to insurgency. I am now left alone without a mother to take care of my younger brother all by myself. And this is a child that is 10 years old that has to take care of his younger brother all by himself, an orphan. And that is for us to understand that internally displaced persons are real people. A lot of them go through trauma while leaving their homes. And because of this, we are actually calling on the governments, there are governmental agencies like the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Environment, to take actions to take actions where necessary to provide better healthcare systems for these camps that are overcrowded, to provide more information on how to access better health systems. We are calling on civil societies like NGOs like Red Cross to help with the distribution of care relief packages. Care relief packages can help the internally displaced persons. We are calling on medical organizations. We are calling on medical organizations like the MDCN, Nigeria, Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria. We are calling on like NMA, Nigerian Medical Association, among others. Awareness can be raised. Awareness can be raised for us to understand that internally displaced people are real people. They are there's this thing we say that bad things should not happen to us, but in actual sense, it could be you and I. So we need to raise awareness, and there's that. Also, humanitarian agencies can collaborate with the government to effect institutional centralization to ensure role clarity or to work towards rehabilitating and ultimately restoring IDPs, internally displaced persons, into the society as normal and healthy citizens. Also, we should never forget that the initial purpose of internally displaced persons camps is for rehabilitating internally displaced persons. They are people that have been forced out of their environment, away from their livelihood. So the camps we should never forget that the camp is to empower them and to rehabilitate them back into the society. So before I finish tonight, I'm going to read a quote from the Norwegian Refugee Council, which says that displaced people need more than just words and quiet sympathy. They need a system that works and politicians who dare to stand up for them. So with this, I'm going to say thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for the presentation. It was really good, right on time. I don't know if Amina is still with us, but if she is, I'll hear comments from her. If she's not, then Daniel, please give your comments so we'll move on.
I enjoyed your presentation. It was quite explanatory, and then the slides were good too.
Okay, thank you, Amina. Daniel.
Thank you for the presentation. It was very nice. Love the slides. I think you try to tweak it a little bit from the norm. So it's actually very good and very infographic. And nice quote at the end. It's actually very catchy. Generally, your presentation was okay, your content well, and you were very calm by presenting. Towards the end, you're not reading the slide. It was not a little bit boring. The start was you were very, very interesting, and I like the way you mix up some things, not in a bad way. You mix up some things in a good way with your pictures and explain. It was actually very interesting. You did very well. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your presentation. It was really good. SCOMI O2. Please share your slide and begin. You have 5 minutes. Please, SCOMI O2, can you guys go on?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I've made you a co-host.
Okay. I'll be sharing my screen now. Yeah, please, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen. You have 5 minutes. You're stopping at 8:28.
All right, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Adam Joy, representing SCOMI O2. I stand on all existing protocols. The problem we'll be identifying tonight is accreditation in Nigerian medical schools. Accreditation is a method whereby officially designated external regulatory organizations that answer to the government access educational institutions using predetermined standards. This is actually done mainly to generate graduates with competence. Why should my key stakeholders intervene? First and foremost, my key stakeholders are medical schools and academic institutions, accreditation agencies like the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria and NUC. We have the government and medical students as well. These key stakeholders should intervene because the benefit of both accreditation and recognition is to ensure high quality education for medical students and also excellent educational training for medical doctors, hereby maintaining an appropriate healthcare delivery for the community and society at large. You would also agree with me that accreditation is the way to quality assurance and improvement. How can this problem be fixed? We are calling on medical schools to advocate for the establishment of formal accreditation process. And we're also calling on accreditation agencies to help medical schools throughout the accreditation process by offering the support needed to the management of these schools. We're also calling on accreditation agencies like the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria to make available on platforms the accreditation status of medical institutions, like the statistics we have currently of 6 partially accredited medical schools and 31 fully accredited medical schools in Nigeria. We're also calling on the government to encourage the continuous enhancement of the medical school curricula. We're also calling on the government to support newly established medical schools and also support these accreditation agencies by ensuring human and financial resources being provided. We're calling on medical students to advocate for meaningful student engagement in the accreditation process of medical education and also advocate for the accreditation of medical schools in Nigeria. We are also convinced that via this information provided, all hands would be on deck to ensure that the problem of accreditation in our Nigerian medical schools is being looked into and that these solutions provided are being implemented as well in order to maintain an appropriate healthcare delivery and also generate doctors with competence in Nigeria. Thank you.
We cannot hear you.
Yeah, hello? Oh, sorry, I'm done. I don't know if you got what I was saying.
No, yes, we can't see your screen anymore. And you can try to reshare. Okay. So you have your time left is 2 minutes once you open your slide.
Sorry, can you?
Yes, we can see your slides now. Oh, yeah, we can see your slides now.
Okay.
Are you ready to continue?
Okay, thank you. Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, you have 2 minutes. You're stopping at 8:29.
Okay, so how can this problem be fixed? We're calling on medical schools to advocate for the establishment of formal accreditation process. We're calling on accreditation agencies to also support the management of these schools. We're calling on the government to support newly established medical schools. We're also calling on medical students to advocate for meaningful student engagement in the accreditation process of medical education in Nigeria. In conclusion, we are convinced that via this information provided, all hands would be on deck to ensure that the problem of accreditation in our Nigerian medical schools is being implemented, and that these the solutions provided are also being implemented to ensure that the problem of accreditation in Nigerian medical schools is being resolved. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. I'll take comments from Daniel, then we'll move on.
All right. Nice presentation. You delivered very well and very much in time. They're quite fast, but it was your speed was okay, was fair. I think the issue I have with your presentation was like slide was very scattered. You had different sizes of your points. You had it was not well arranged. I was seeing full stop before capital letter for your headlines. Wow, probably that's a new method of writing that I'm not aware of. Probably we'll talk later. But I think we should work more on that, try and develop that aspect, because normal presentation, your slide actually takes a particular of marks. So, but you did very well, and you're able to communicate your idea in the very short amount of time that you have.
Okay, thank you very much, Daniel. We'll move on to our last group for today, Square Bar 05. Please indicate, so I'll make you a co-host, and you can share your screen and start. Emmanuel, please can you share your screen and start?
I'm trying to do that now. Very sorry. Just give me some minutes.
All right.
All right, I'm coming. I'm very sorry.
We can see your slides now.
Is okay.
Please, is there anyone else from your group that can share the slides for you?
I I don't really know. I'm sorry. I'm coming. I'm sorry. Very sorry. Documents. Oh. Oh.
If you're done presenting, you can leave, please. Thank you. Emmanuel, I don't know, are your group members here? If they are, please, someone else should share the slides for you.
Okay, let me try and reach one of them.
None of your group members are here now?
One of my group members is here, but I'm not really sure if she's active. I can't really find the document. That's the Just give me
I think he's logged out now. Daniel, you wanted to make some comments. I think you should just go ahead. If he doesn't come back, then we'll close for the day, please. We've been here for very long.
Oh, sorry, I was talking. I didn't know I was still muted. Anyway, I think we should give 1 more minute. Then, if he's not back, we'll just call it a day. But well done to all the groups that presented. They did very well. Basically, I just wanted to say to everyone that presented, you actually did well. Presentation is something in medicine that you cannot run away from. As a medical student, I know in clinicals you do at least 3 presentations. Then when you're doing your house job, you do at least 4. And if you're in residency, you do like once in 3 months. So it's something that you just have to get used to. And if you're going into policy making, either as a politician or you have your personal business, you have to pitch your ideas once in a while to companies and stuff like that. So I was very happy when I saw this particular part in this SCOPI training because it's something that you can actually build on personally for yourself throughout your presenting career as a medical doctor or as an entrepreneur or as a policymaker or a politician, as the case may be. There are a lot of sections I would have talked about when it comes to presenting, but I think we're all worn out. So, but actually, you can, for subsequent presentations, you can actually check more and read more about it online, how to present, how to do your slide. One basic thing is your slide should be uniform when it comes to text size. You should be very cognizant of how you use your capital letters, and you can change colors in particular text that you want to emphasize. But you and also when you're combining colors in your slide, you must be very careful. I think one of the slide, the background of Scopi slide is brown, and the guy is green. It affected my retina literally. So things like that, when you're also combining colors for your slide, you have to be cognizant of color blending, complementary colors, supplementary colors. I think we did those things back then or in primary school. Also, you must be very confident by presenting because if you're not confident, you can't drive home your point. Just being confident alone can actually make them buy into your idea. And also, you must also know where to focus on when you're presenting. In medicine, I think when you're presenting, you focus more on pathogenesis or pathophysiology and then treatment. So the other parts of epidemiology and other ones you don't really focus on. And also for things like this, you focus more on call of action because that is where you're reaching out to your audience, probably the stakeholders, the government, and stuff like that. So you should know where you're focusing on or where you need to focus on, and then you can actually spend more time and then pass home or drive home your points. The other places that are not really much of priority, you can just say a word of 1 or 2. Bear in mind that you are talking, they're also reading the slide, so you can just talk briefly that aspect. Then when you get to the main parts, they are going to talk about you drive from your point. That will really give you a winning presentation. Amongst other things, probably actually the more you present, the more you get better at the truth, because nobody's a perfect presenter, as the case may be. So I think that is all I'll just say concerning that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Daniel. I hope everyone picked one or two lessons from there. Emmanuel, are you ready to present?
Emmanuel, please answer. Emmanuel, I'll be able to send a voice note of representation.
Oh, I don't know.
Is it the only one? Is it the only one from the group present?
Yes. Is there anyone from Square Per 5 here?
That's so sad. She's the only one. There's no signing out, please. If you're signing, you're done. And you can leave when you're done presenting. I think
Seems like his network is really bad this night. I think we'll just call it a night here, please. Thank you everyone for coming and for presenting. You can log out now. You don't have to sign out. Thank you, Amina. Thank you, Daniel, for being here. Good night, everybody.